Hello my viewer, welcome to Kids Crochet, and today I'm back with a tutorial for hat. And these are the materials that we need. We need yarn. I'm using this yarn, Winter King. It's 4-ply, 100% acrylic, and this is the color or the shade. Yeah, so I'm using 2 balls. I've already done this piece, and I used this yarn, which is Robin Small, and I used 2 strands, as you can see, because it's thinner than this one. So now we need yarn, a crochet hook. I'm using 3mm, a pair of scissors for cutting your yarn, and a needle for joining your hat. So now in this hat we are making using this pattern or this stitch. It's called wave stitch. This is the wrong side and this is the right side. So now this pattern is worked in multiples of 10 in any item that you do. In this stitch you work in multiples of 10 plus a chain of 6. So I did this sweater for my son, and I used 2 colors. It's a high neck sweater. So you fold. So this is the pattern in 2 colors, and I find it awesome when it's done with more than 1 color. So this is it in 2 colors and in 1 color. This is how it looks like. So now we are working this hat using this yarn. It's for a client, so I just decided to work this with you. Yeah, so we are going to make a chain of 50 plus 6 chains. So we are going to chain 56, and to begin this we start by making a slip knot. This is how to do one, and then using your hook you make a chain of 56. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So continue until you have your 56 chains. So here is my chain. Now we begin our first row by working. We skip the first stitch or chain, and in the next we work a slip stitch, and this is how to slip stitch. You go through that chain, take up yarn, and with the same yarn on your hook go through the one behind it. That is 1. So we are going to do 5 slips. We work the second, we do the third one, 4 and 5. Make sure you're not doing it too tightly. So again in the next 5 stitches we work 5 half double crochets, and this is how to do it. You yarn over, go through that next chain, take up yarn, yarn over, and go through all of them, the 3 of them. That is 1, again 2, 3, 4 and 5. So 5 slip stitches, 5 half double crochets. In the next 5 chains we work 5 slips. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And so you can look at it, you can see that where there are slip stitches, it's thinner than the half double crochets. In the next 5 stitches we work 5 half double crochets, and we'll alternate this to the end of this row. We work 5 half double crochets and 5 slip stitches. So you continue doing this to the end, and I meet you at the end of this row. And I finish with a slip stitch. So when you look at it, this is how it looks like. Some parts are bigger than others, so this is how it grows. So now to go to the second row, we chain 1 and turn our work. We skip this first stitch because of the chain 1, and onto the next we do a slip stitch. We finished with a row or 5 slips, so again that is 2, 3, 4 and 5. So on this part where we have half double crochets, we work 5 half doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And we continue doing this as we did on the previous row to the end. We work now 5 singles where we have singles, and 5 doubles where we have half doubles. And I meet you at the end of this row. And I finish this row with 1 slip stitch at the end here. So this is how it looks. This is the right side. So now we have done 2 rows of singles and half doubles, and we were repeating the same thing where we had worked singles on the first row. On the second row we were working the same, and where we worked half doubles we worked the same stitches on the second row. And now to go to the next row, which is the third row, we chain 2. Remember on the previous row we chained only 1. So now we chain 2 and turn our work, and now on this part we have slip stitches. So we are going to work now half double crochets on top of these slip stitches. So we skip this first because of the chain 2, sorry, and we go to the next and make a half double crochet. So those are 2, 3, 4 and 5. All right, so we worked 5 half double crochets on top of the slip stitches. So now on top of the half double crochets here we work 5 slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now on top of these slip stitches we work 5 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we repeat this to the end of this row. Where we have half doubles, like here, we work slip stitches, half doubles, slip stitches. We continue that to the end, and I meet you at the end of this row. And I finish this row with 5 half double crochets, and this is how it looks like. So now we chain 2 and we turn. We have 5 double or half double crochets here. We work 5 half double crochets, skipping the first one because of the chain 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have 5 slip stitches. We work 5 of them. We continue repeating this same pattern. Where we have half doubles, we work half doubles, and where we have slip stitches, we work slip stitches. So you continue doing this to the end of this row, and I meet you at the end of the row. And I finish this row by working 5 half doubles on top of these 5 halves. So now when you look at it closely, if you followed what we were doing, on the first row we started with slip stitches, alternating slip stitches and half doubles. When we came to the next row or the second row, we repeated the same, working working slip stitches on where we had worked slip stitches, and half where we were working halves. So now when we came to the third row, where we now did where we did slip stitches, we now worked half double crochets and repeated for 2 rows. So now when you look at it, it's like we repeat 2 rows to make one complete stitch pattern. Again, you repeat before you change. So now we have worked 4 rows, and we can count them as 2, as this one is completed and this one is completed. So in every 2 rows you repeat the same pattern before you change. So like now we finished with half double crochets and it's complete. So now when we go to the next row, where we worked half double crochets, we work slip stitches, and where there are slip stitches, we work half doubles, and we repeat that for 2 rows and continue working this until you get your desired size of your heart. That is, when you wrap around your head, or for the person you are making, it should fit perfectly, not too tight, not too loose. So like this one, it's already done. I repeated all that process. This is the wrong side, this is the right side. And before we join this, I would like you to note something when you're working with 2 colors or more. So now with this sweater, I worked it this way. So now when you look at it, this is the row that I started with. So as you can see, with 2 colors, you can clearly see. So I did, these are 2 rows, again 2 rows, 2 rows. So when now we want to change your color, if you're working with 2 or more colors, once you are done with repeating these 2 rows, at the end you change color to the other color that you want to use. You work that row, again repeat. When you come to the end, you change the color. All right, I hope that you get right well. So now we would like to complete our heart. So you have your needle, and mine is already threaded. So now you are going to check where your right side is. So this is my right side. I turn my wrong side up. You make sure your wrong side is facing you like this. This is my wrong side. So I'm going to stitch from my wrong side, so that when I turn, this will be my right side out. So now I'm going to stitch this together. Starting from one end, you can start with either side because they are similar. And we are going to stitch this to the other side. You can use any method. You can use your hook or your needle to join this together. So I'm going to join this until I get to the other side. I hope you are doing the same to yours. So continue stitching this, and I meet you when you get to the other side. So now my two pieces are joined together, and you can hardly know where I really joined them. This is the point where I joined them. So now when we get to the other side, we want to join the top, and this is what I do. I go stitching in and out, and I pull the yarn, and I make sure I pull that tightly, and I continue doing this until I get to the other side where I started. There are different ways you can join the top, and this is one of them, which I find easier and faster. So you join the top, and I've come to where I began. So when you look at this part, it's not completely closed, so you make sure you pull your yarn, and I'm going to be taking these parts that are ribbed together so that that upper part completely closes. So I take the ribbed parts until that is completely closed. Like that. You can cut this or leave it because it is on the wrong side. I cut that. And now if you want to put a pom-pom, remember this is our wrong side, so we want to turn this to the right side. I make sure the yarn goes to the other side, which is my wrong side, and turn. So now when you turn, you make sure this upper part it's completely done. So if now you want to put a pom-pom, you are going to stitch it up here, but because this heart, the owner doesn't want a pom-pom, I'm going to leave it that way. But for this, I'm going to add a pom-pom, and I'm going to link the completed heart for the other one. So for this one, I just again stitch all the ribbed parts up here to make sure they neatly and completely come together. If you're putting a pom-pom, you just do it as it is, because the pom-pom is going to hide these ribbed parts. So once I'm done, I'm going to take back the yarn to the wrong side and finish on that side. So you secure your yarn nicely to make sure that that is not going to be undone. Yeah, and cut your yarn and turn to the right side. And finally, here is our finished beanie. You unfold all the folded areas on top. Yeah, and that's it. So thank you so much for viewing this to the end. Give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful. Please share with your friends and family, and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed, and comment down below. So thank you so much, and God bless you. Goodbye for now.